Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Space Sweepers is a South Korean sci-fi space opera that was something that I was highly anticipating when I first saw the initial trailers because I love sci-fi, I love space opera, spaceship type movies, and this one is one of the few of these types of movies to actually come out of South Korea because a lot of times it's mostly K-drama, dramatic movies, and action movies, and so sci-fi is not something I see very often. So the general story here is that we have this crew, they're called Space Sweepers, and basically these groups of people actually go clean up debris and trash in space, okay? And within this, we have our four main crew members. We have Tae-ho, Captain Jang, Tiger Park, and this robot named Bubs. And within that mix, we discovered this little girl, or maybe an android, that is actually a nuclear bomb, a living nuclear bomb. And her name is Dorothy, but her Korean name is Kotnim. And within this world of 2092, the Earth is pretty much inhabitable. You know, it's really where all the poorest people live. It's very polluted, desolate, and so all the rich people, or the people who are selected, are actually living in space, in these space colonies, and it's run by a mega corporation called UTS, headed by the founder, James Sullivan. And within this mix, we actually discover a lot of why Dorothy or Kotnim exists, and also a lot more about our crew members and how they all relate to UTS. And of course, there's going to be a lot of space opera sci-fi action. So getting into things that I really enjoyed about this movie is the overall special effects. Now, the overall budget for this, I think, was around 21 or 22 million US. But if I was to actually just watch this movie and compare it to US movies, this is really great effects. I would say better than most $100+ million movies that are created here in the US. Everything just looks really good. The spacing looks awesome. And whenever there's battles and stuff, it's just really exciting. And one of the best things that I liked about the overall effects is that you kind of forget their effects. I mean, you know that they're there, but they're done so well that they just kind of go into the background. And I really feel those are the best type of special effects where they actually help serve the story. And in this case, having a space opera type movie, it requires a lot of really great special effects. And in this case, I think this movie delivers. And then the second thing that I enjoyed about this movie is just the characters themselves. Everybody from Tae-ho, Captain Jang, Tiger Park, the little girl Kotnim, and most importantly, Bubs, the robot android. I really like Bubs a lot. They're very charismatic. They're characters that you really, really grow to love. And they also have backstories as well. And even though the movie doesn't spend too much time there, at least they are more fleshed out than most sci-fi movies in this type of genre. And so I really did enjoy the characters, and I just enjoyed seeing them, you know, just argue with each other, have banter, help each other, go into battles with each other. They have this whole family atmosphere that makes you really care about what happens to them and how they progress throughout the movie. And then another thing that I did enjoy about this movie is the overall world that they've built. We have seen this in other space opera sci-fi movies, but in this case, you can see that there is a lot there as well. And the movie does a good job of showing you just enough to you know that there is this world out there, but there's also more depth to it that you don't see yet. And I'm glad the people who created the movie took the time to at least put those little details out there, just showing you that, hey, this world is much bigger than it is. And even though it's mostly about UTS and the crew member of Victory, which is the name of the spaceship, there's a lot of other characters and a lot of ways that, you know, this entire universe can go. And so that is another thing that I enjoyed. And then I would say the final thing that I enjoyed is just the overall humor in this movie, okay? This is something that's very similar to like Guardians of the Galaxy, where it is a space opera sci-fi epic and the characters that you love, but at the same time, there's a lot of humor in there. And in this case, I feel the same way about these characters and the actors that actually brought these characters to life. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at GeekOutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, getting to the thing that I didn't like about Space Sweepers is even though the movie itself I really found enjoyable, it kept my interest pretty much the whole time, certain parts of the movie, mainly like after the first half of the movie, so this is a 2-hour plus movie, it kind of slowed down. And I kind of understand why they did that, because they were taking time to tell some of the backstory and some of the motivations of some characters. But I kind of felt that kind of slowed down the overall momentum, and maybe some of those things could have been taken out. Specifically, the whole UTS part, I wasn't really that interested in it. But other than that, I really enjoyed Space Sweepers. You know, it has everything that I really am looking forward to whenever watching these space opera sci-fi movies. And at the same time, probably the most important thing overall is that this is a really fun movie. This is a fun time, and this is a universe that I definitely would enjoy coming back to and watching where these characters goes, and maybe more of this entire universe that they've built here for Space Sweepers. So if you actually had any thoughts in this movie, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you want to see more of my Korean film or series reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.